Choose any ATM of your convenience and stand a chance to win gold sovereigns.
Lanka.
The Election Commission originally scheduled the 2023 local government elections for the 9th of March 2023. However, with the Ministry of Finance and other relevant institutions declaring that it was difficult to allocate sufficient funds for the election in view of the financial regulations enacted due to the prevailing economic crisis, the polls were postponed until the 25th of April. However, the polls were not held on the 25th of April either and were postponed indefinitely. Subsequently, the Samag Jana Balawegaya, the National People's Power, the Centre for Policy Alternatives and the People's Action for Free and Fair Elections filed fundamental rights petitions before the Supreme Court, requesting that the Apex Court issue a ruling that the fundamental rights of the country's voters were violated through the postponement of the elections. Following the consideration of the relevant petitions, the 5-member Supreme Court judge bench comprising Chief Justice Jayantha Jayasuriya and Justices Vijit Malalgoda, Murdu Fernando, Gamini Amarasekara and Yasantha Kodagoda delivered its verdict today. Delivering the court's verdict, Justice Gamini Amarasekara highlighted that the elections not being conducted within the proper time frame was a violation not only of the sovereignty of the people but also of universal franchise. He further stated that it is the responsibility of the Election Commission to ensure that the election is held within the proper time frame and added that by failing to do so, the members of the then Election Commission had violated Article 14(1)(a) of the Constitution. Justice Amarasekara then went on to highlight that the President had contributed to the polls being postponed. He noted that the President, in his capacity as the Minister of Finance, had not taken steps to obtain approval to allocate the funds necessary for the election. He added that against the backdrop where the Cabinet decision to only prioritise essential state expenses was not passed in Parliament, refusing to allocate funds for the election was a violation of the law. Accordingly, the Supreme Court ruled that the President, in his capacity as the Minister of Finance, and the members of the then Election Commission had violated the fundamental rights of the country's voters by failing to hold the local government polls on the 9th of March 2023. Further, the court ordered the Election Commission to conduct the postponed election as soon as possible.
We were exploring ways to conduct the election within the existing legal framework. The Commission has been strengthened by today's verdict. This verdict indicates that the Commission must take necessary action, regardless of the circumstances, without shirking its responsibilities.
The President knew that given the SJB's position at that time, he would likely lose if the elections were held. To prevent this, he withheld funds to sabotage the election. However, all those actions were overturned by the Supreme Court today.
මේ තීන්දුව තුලින් ඉදිරියට දේශපාලන හේතුමත් දේශපාලන වාසිය වෙනුවෙන් දේශපාලන අධිකාරියට මේ විදියට ජනතාවගේ පුරවැසියාගේ පරමාධිපත්‍ය බලයත් එක්ක සෙල්ලම් කරන්න බෑ කියන එක තහවුරු වෙනවා.
There were 32 attempts to postpone this election. While this verdict directly pertains to the local government election, it will have implications for future elections as well.
නඩුකරයක්